this club's about winning trophies. I'm inexperienced in a lot of those things.
3-0. Sorry for smiling there.
Almost lost the cup and you win it. The new European champions, the treble, the dream come true for you.
Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Football, bloody hell. But they never give in. And that's the winner.
Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we're bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond. That's right, Manchester United, Carabao Cup, EFL Cup, League Cup champions 22-23. Written in the history books, our sixth EFL Cup in the cabinet. Erik ten Hag bringing the boys all business. Felt like United of old. It was easy. Win, baby, win. That is Manchester United. That feeling we've been chasing for years is back, baby. Let's go.
How we doing, sir? Silverware is back on the menu. Erik ten Hag, he is the real deal. The real deal, the real McCoy, whatever you want to call it. Our bald fraud, bald is best. He is the man with a mission, the man who is going to see this club return to glory. It's early days. These are tiny tots. This is the EFL Cup, Carabao Cup, sir. Crack us open one. Crack us open two. We're drinking heavy in the pod room today. It is pelting down. Some English weather here in Northern California, but either way, the big story is the drought is over. It ends 6 years. Our droughts are shorter than other people's droughts. I'll tell you what. You feel bad for Newcastle. They haven't won a thing since 53. Spurs haven't won a thing since 07. And here we go. It felt like a millennium of us not winning nothing. It's been 10 years since we won anything important, but we haven't won a piece of silverware since the Europa League. We do the job today. Didn't even play that well. I think the boys looked a little gassed from only having 2 days rest. But this is when the class shows up. Form is temporary, class is permanent. Casemiro, Varane steady at the back. Martinez, AWB coming in, arguably being the best player in that second half. He was terrific. He was tackling everybody. But the real story is the manager, baby. This manager is the real deal, and we are lucky to have him. And I'll tell you what. Sir. I think the better he performs, the more likely it is that the Glazers hang around the hoop a little bit longer.
Don't bring that into the
coming,
We're
baby.
buzzing off this trophy.
I'm here to be your reality police. The reality says
you got to enjoy
he was there
the
for a
trophy
reason.
intro.
I'm
This is
enjoying
our
it.
first trophy win on the pod. It's been 437 episodes.
437 proper episodes.
437 proper episodes with this Muppet. Gone to United a ton, through a pandemic, through 4 kids being born, the ups and the downs all around, and we finally, I was hungry for trophies. That was an appetizer. You saw it. It's a tiny trophy. It's small.
Small.
You know, you want the
trophy.
bigger ones. You know, the bigger trophies, they got more ribbons on the ones that are more important. You know, I'm looking at you, Europa League. I'm looking at you, EPL title, maybe the FA Cup as well, but still important for a team to win in the moment. I felt like Gdansk is gone. United. This is too easy. This felt like it was United of old. They just walked into a cup final, no big deal.
Didn't play well.
And just won. It's all about winning. And that's what Manchester United is. And like you said, we got some dogs in this team. And that's the difference when you have some big players and our manager just pulling the strings. But like I said, 2,104 days since we won the Europa League under Jose Mourinho. And that day is when we decided to start a podcast. We have done 437 episodes, been 3 managers, and one of the most incredible stats is Manchester United spent £860 million over 6 years to get here, just to get to the EFL Cup. Some might say Ed Woodward bottled that spend, the front office, etc., but still an incredible amount of money to get here. And there's so much more that needs to be done at Manchester United, but a pivotal moment for a new manager. And I think all the credit goes to him, because I felt like even at the beginning of the season, the players didn't believe, but he knew where he was going, and he dragged them there. And you're starting to see this squad is everyone's bought in, everyone's playing together. And the feeling and the vibes are back at Manchester United. The winning, the all business, the hunger is back at Manchester United. What a day to be a fan. I knew this day would come, but I didn't think it would come so soon. Coming into the season, to be where we are now, it's incredible.
No, the turnaround under this new manager is quite frankly unprecedented. Like, finished last season, worst finish for Manchester United in the history of the modern Premier League era. There's so much controversy. There's so much drama. Ronaldo, the Glazers, even before the sale was announced, the summer spending. It was a stop-start season in terms of over the summer and how things went. We didn't get the players we thought we were going to get in some positions, but it ended up being to our benefit because I think you cannot overstate the effect. Obviously, the manager, we'll talk about more of him in a second, but Casemiro showing his class. Varane, these winners, perennial winners coming up, and even when the team is not at its best, because today we were not at our best, and I think that was the minutes, the legs, playing a game, 3 days ago with 2 days rest against a top Barca side, but it don't matter because this manager is just getting started. Like you said, this is a moose-bouche. This is like a little taste tester. Tiniest trophy I've ever seen, bro. That trophy is like, honestly, it's a trophy for ants.
Was it Honey, I Shrunk the EFL trophy? Like,
has it always been that small, or is it because we won it?
It's like 2 hands.
Your water bottle's bigger than the EFL Cup final.
They just make it like 3x the trophy. Just make me feel a little better about it, you know, at the end of the day. But look, this is everyone kick back. Let this one sink in. We're going to be drinking some dark ales here on the podcast. It's going to be a loose one. It's going to be a fun one. We've earned it. The stress, the dark days, everything. And boy, did we say the darkest before the dawn. And Ralph Rangnick, that Crystal Palace game that we traveled all the way to London to watch, they just didn't even show up on the last day of last season under Rangnick. Players didn't even, like, Ronaldo wasn't there, Pogba wasn't there. People ghosted the team. It felt like the absolute low. And I think we're on the up, baby. I mean, trophy in hand, 6 years. Let's go. So a quick PSA for the podcast. If you like the Muppet Take, if you want to support independent fan content, please check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/American Red Devils. No sponsors on the pod, just pure emotion, yelling from the couch by the two Muppets that are ourselves in the garage, sir. We don't even sit on the couch. I wish we had a couch in the pod room, but you know, there's always an upgrade. But if you want to support us, check out our Patreon page. We do extra podcasts every month. You get tons of benefits. It's all upside from there, and support great fan-generated content. Speaking of fan-generated content, we have a website, AmericanRedDevils.com, blogs there, all fan opinions. If you're interested in blogging, email us, AmericanRedDevils@gmail.com. Post your opinion. That's what this whole platform is about. Check out our store, AmericanRedDevils.store. Great merchandise, scarves, shirts, hoodies, beanies, pins, if you're into that, stickers as well. Support this great club. Support this pod. Sir, tell them about iTunes reviews.
iTunes reviews or 5-star reviews, the American Devils podcast, wherever you listen. It's a great way to support the pod. Helps us get found organically by other Muppets like yourself. And even better, we're giving away an extra special giveaway. If you write a 5-star review to the American Red Devils and send a screenshot to AmericanRedDevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, I will personally pick, pack, and ship a free Glazer Out green and gold scarf, sent it right to your door anywhere in the world. They are flying out, keeping me busy. And guess what? They ain't gone yet. So get that scarf while it's hot. We will give these out until we run out. Here's a great 5-star review from J.G. Rhymes. 5-star, gets the blood pumping. Love listening to these two talk about Man United. Love their energy and passion. Always keep me up to date with everything Man United. Also, there's nothing better than hearing the national anthem guitar solo after a huge win. Shout out to all the 5-star reviews. We appreciate you. And these are the 5-star Reds, sir. This lad is just getting going. And by this lad, I mean the signing of the season, Erik ten Hag. Holy shit, we are lucky to have him. Because money...
We've seen it all. We won the lot.
Sorry, sir.
Oh, very good.
I can't help myself.
Good.
Can't help myself. It's like, I'm ready to go.
In the middle of my preamble.
This is a cup-winning pod,
Also,
baby.
you
Let's
have
go.
to find another outro song, sir. You blew it.
Let's go. no, we're playing that one again, sir.
We are,
It's the
because
song.
we
Let's
are
go.
the mighty Man United, and this club is on the ascendancy. We have a top-class manager.
Never going to stop.
Top-class manager. The team is just getting going. Give this manager another transfer window in the summer. Who cares? With Glazers, without the Glazers, obviously you know how we feel. We want them gone. But even if they hang around the hoop, which is not unlikely at this point, it's probably 50-50, to be honest, given what's happening.
Just stop.
They got to, sir.
We got to enjoy
What are you
the cup
talking about? That's
final
in the
pod.
news. I literally did an interview with a top publication, and all they give a shit about was the sale, bro. So I'm sure
I know,
we
we
are
gotta-
excited about the Carabao Cup. The Carabao Cup. I'll tell you what, you said if we won, you got to chug a Carabao Cup. We got to find one for you. They look
We're going to London.
grotesque. But the
Gonna
point
get
of
a
the matter
Carabao
is,
Cup. I'm going to get that mixed cherry blend. That looks great, sir. I'll definitely shotgun it.
yeah,
Sure.
you will shotgun it. But what a win, what a game, what a performance. And I think it's a confidence boost this team needs. Some of these players, they won in their sleep. They've won it all. Varane, not only has he won the World Cup, he's won, 4 or 5 Champions League, La Liga. He's a perennial winner. But the look on the faces of Casemiro and Varane, who have already won everything, Martinez, who just won the World Cup a couple months ago, these players, you see how much it means to them. They want to succeed at Manchester United because they understand doing it here at their club level is unlike doing it at any other club. The fans, the history, the fighting back from adversity, and also where we were at the beginning of the season getting beat up by Brentford in the heat. It's an unbelievable turnaround, and we are just getting started, sir. It's like we still got Wild Weghorst in the 11, bro, and like we are just getting going.
All right, let's get into it. Manchester United 2, Newcastle 0 at Wembley. It was the Carabao Cup final. Let's get into that starting 11. We had Dave Saves, world number 1 in net. Luke, the impossible meat pie, at left back. Martinez, Varane, center back pairing. Delo makes it in to start at right back. The Brazilian connect, Fred Casemiro in the midfield. Bruno playing number 10, Red Hot Rashford on the left, and Wout Weghorst at number 9 with Anthony on the right wing, rocking the frosted tips. What'd you make of this 11?
You know, there weren't a ton of surprises in the 11. I think the ones that stand out is that Anthony on the right wing over maybe a Sancho, and then Delo coming in. I think the rest of those defenders picked themselves. There was no doubt about it. It was going to be Martinez and Varane and center back Shaw, obviously one of the best left backs in the league, dare I say, in the world at the moment. He's playing unbelievable football. Delo, that was the one where you were unsure because I didn't know St. Maximin was going to be starting, but you know that they offer quite a bit going forward. They're tricky. And obviously, I think what the manager, Ten Hag, was looking to do was get forward. Obviously, Delo is a much better attacker than AWB is, but he was put under the cosh early in this game, and often, to be honest.
Yeah, let's get into it. First half, game was cagey to start. United were having a hard time playing through the middle of the park. Newcastle were all over us. And when they got the ball, they looked to have the piss and vinegar to come at United. Usually, we thought Eddie Howe might sit back, try to defend, hit us on the counter. They actually came to attack. I think there was a little bit of mind games in the pressers. Ten Hag calling them out, saying they never play attacking football. They're very boring. They play the low block. Eddie Howe says, oh, yeah, we got fresh legs. We're coming at you. So little mind games from the manager there. We can dissect that later. But he met with Sir Alex, played the presser mind games. Eddie Howe bit. He came at United. We looked to find them on the counter. And we were shaky. Delo a little shaky. 13th minute. We did get a chance. Wout Weghorst, ball. A great chance. Lucky deflection. Finds his left foot. 8 yards in front of the goal. Nothing doing from Wout.
One of these chances that just falls to you. He hasn't had a lot of golden opportunities, but when you get the ball in this position, 8 yards out, like you mentioned, lucky bounce in the first place, just smash it. Even if you smash it over, just put some fucking
That was a whiff.
on it.
That was a whiff.
He didn't whiff because he hit the ball and it technically bobbled to Karius, but he didn't connect with it. And we've seen that a number of times. When he's gotten the ball in the 8-yard box, he doesn't connect with it with the power you would think a big man of his size would put on it. So it's his best chance of the game for Wout. It was nerves.
Cup final nerves.
Can't blame it. There were some nerves today.
Look, up into the 15th minute, Newcastle were getting the best of us. We were kind of hold the line. St. Maximin, obviously everything going through him, running fast. Our defense looked very scrappy. 26th minute, Martinez with a big block after Newcastle keep on pushing. And then 32nd minute, huge moment here. De Gea, huge save after Delo gets beat on the right side of the pitch. All Newcastle coming at United here. A little nervous.
No, this was probably the most difficult period of the game because I think they really showed their rested legs. United looked a little tired, a little sloppy. It wasn't quite happening through the middle of the park, and they were targeting Delo very clearly. Maybe it's because St. Maxima is just the much better attacker of their two that were starting on the wings, but they seem to be going everything through their left, and Delo, he's still coming back into form. He looked exposed a number of times, and
He got the yellow early on as well.
8th minute,
Yeah.
he got a yellow, like you said. And David De Gea, he's getting called into action. And thankfully, the thing is, when we gave him opportunities, the center backs would coalesce very well and would make big blocks. Obviously, De Gea got called into action a couple of times, but not at our top by any means.
Yeah, not the best start from United, but I felt like we kind of, once the piss and vinegar ran out on the Newcastle side, we kind of grew into the game a little bit, and there was a critical free kick, and we've always talked about it. In big games, you need big players, I think. Zlatan was the big player who rose up to the big moment, who won us our last EFL Cup under Mourinho in 16-17. And you know what? I don't need to tell you who the big player is for Manchester United at the moment because he steps up big time in a final. Helped us win some silverware, sir. Goes by the name of Casemiro.
It's Shaw. And the header is good and firm and decisive from Casemiro, who scores the opening goal of the 63rd League Cup final.
Well, just watch the delivery. Nothing he can do about it. He couldn't come for that one. They've got some big players in there, Newcastle United, but the delivery beat them. And Casemiro, we've all been saying what a signing he's been, what a player he is. The question is he offside? His arm's offside, but that doesn't matter. I think he's going to be onside. It's a brilliant delivery from Shaw. Bent in with pace, just in behind the Newcastle back line who were recovering. But was he offside? That's the big question.
Give you a hint. He wasn't offsides. VAR had a sniff at it. It's as close as you can get. I think Callum Wilson was playing him on, and Casemiro gets his goal. But amazing ball in from Luke Shaw, and a world-class header. I mean, header worthy of a player of Casemiro, probably man of the match.
Arguably, man of the match if you given the two halves because he was faultless throughout most of it. Great ball in from Luke Shaw. I think Rashford draws the free kick in the first place. I think Casemiro just showing his class. It's like an unbelievable finish. Reminds me a little bit of the semifinal against Juve, where Keane was already out of the final, and he scores a big header to get United back in that game away in Turin. Huge moments are made for huge players, and players like Casemiro that still show fight, even after they've won everything there is to win. It's a great testament to what this manager is building and the importance of having winners in the side. Having him and Varane and even now Martinez, who's a World Cup winner, as your players that you can rely on even when you're not playing at your best. That is what makes the difference at the end of the day, and that is what made the difference today.
6 minutes later, 39th minute.
Here's Weghorst. Slipping in Rashford, and Karius defeated possibly by the reflection. Marcus Rashford stamps his name on this showpiece. It's another uncomfortable moment for a German goalkeeper that suffered too many. "17 goals in 19 appearances since the World Cup for Marcus Rashford."
Well, take nothing away from Marcus Rashford. It's a good finish, and it probably does take a deflection, but give credit to Weghorst. When he picks the ball up off Rashford here, he times his pass to perfection. Rashford makes the run. There's the ball. First touch is good. The goalkeeper's already going down. That's the problem. And there he is coming across.
A little deflection for Marcus. Great ball from Wout and Karius. I'm not going to say it's his fault. It's a bad deflection. He's already reacting. He had a few saves, but Karius was not someone we should have been worried about, like I mentioned on the last pod.
I mean, he wasn't the one that did him in. You know, shout out to Karius because he Everybody wanted. Everybody who was not rooting for Manchester United wanted Newcastle United to win. In the build up before the game, ESPN Plus crew was like as crackerjack as it gets. They were all pumping them up big time, all about how Newcastle, 70-year drought. Are they going to end it? They did not end it. But to be honest, Carey has probably kept them in the second half when United was the better side because he had a number of big saves. And shout out to Marcus Rashford. It is a crime if this is going as an own goal because he should be scoring in the final. It was on target. Obviously, it's a deflection, but I've seen those given to the goal scorer, to the striker before, and I think he deserves his goal to be given. Dude, he's the most informed player in Europe since the World Cup. Unbelievable stuff.
Look, and credit to Wout with a great weighted pass to Marcus Rashford, who does the job. And you're up 2-0 in a flash, and that is the thing about Manchester United in finals. They always find a way if it's a tough start, if they're leggy. We didn't see them go in head down. We saw them fight back, get a goal, get another. And the difference makers, Casemiro, Marcus Rashford, and I'll credit Wout for a nice assist there. 49th minute, still in the first half, in extra time. Karius had a nice save on Antony. Probably should have passed to Rashford. I felt like we were a little selfish in the final third today. I think Bruno as well. There's some times we probably should have passed to get the last man, get the goal, and kill the game. But we do go into halftime, up 2-0. What was Ten Hag saying to the lads? I mean, the last few games he's had to yell at them. Now he's probably like, all right, guys.
He's probably still yelling at him. No, I mean, based on his reaction when he won the cup, this man is hard to please. He's like, "Oh, we won an EFL Cup. Have you seen how small this silverware is? I can barely see it." Like I said, silverware for ants. The change was obvious. I mean, I hate to say it, like the weakness in the side. We didn't play great, but we were exposed on the right side of our pitch because the low was getting caught out. Say Maxwell, he's a tricky player, so I think. Dude, the guy's a tactical genius. He knows what he's doing. He brought in AWB for Delo. That was the move because in many ways, I don't know, they kept going at us at the beginning of the second half, but AWB held up terrifically. He was if there's a man of a match for a half, he was the man of the match in the second half because he was fantastic.
And credit to the manager because, you see it. You're like, Delo, big spot for him. It's not like prime Delo earlier in the year. I felt like he was really good. It was his job to lose. AWB comes back. He was on the outs. He comes back, kind of wins the job. This is what you like to see at United. Two guys competing. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a dog because he came in this game at halftime and absolutely just started. The tackles he was putting was just unbelievable. 65th minute, great block on St. Maximum again. And then 68th minute, AWB with another big block. Martinez with another big block. I mean, he was all over the pitch, and he was up high on the pitch winning the ball back, putting in these leggy challenges, and he shored everything up. That was completely the fix. Not to write off Delo, but just not his best game. I think as far as tactically how it shaped up, we needed the defensive chops of Aaron Wan-Bissaka a little more. Plus, we had the 2-goal lead, so it was the right move.
And they were running at him. I mean, St. Maxima is a tricky player. He wins tons of fouls. And Delo is still coming up into fitness. Remember, he was injured after the World Cup. That's where AWB got the opportunity to come back into form, and obviously he's playing the best football he's ever played in Manchester United. He looks a player. He looks a player of high value. Am I saying his name wrong?
St. Maximum. You keep saying Maxima.
Maximus
Aurelius.
Sounds cool.
It sounds cool.
St. Maximum also sounds cool. But shout out to AWB for holding the line and also just
Spider.
What a fucking turnaround he's had in the last 2 months in the World Cup. It's unbelievable.
He's a dog.
I'd keep him, bro. He's so good defensively that I'd keep him. I know people want to get rid of him.
Here's the thing.
I would keep him.
Delo ain't a dog. No. Casemiro's a dog.
Yep. Bruno, dog.
Leach is a dog. Wayne Rooney, dog. He got dog. And then
Glazer apologist.
Well, Wan-Bissaka is a dog, and it's it's just a different vibe. Delo's a pretty boy, gets forward, runs fast, but you need a dog out there.
You need both. You need two. You need one of each.
But they're competing, and that's what you want. You saw what happened when we brought Malacia, and Luke Shaw's better. You see Wan-Bissaka and Delo competing. They're both better, and that's what you need at Manchester United. And you need two different players to do the job on the right side of the pitch. It's true. Start filling up that dark ale. Enjoy. Hey, let's go. Again. 69th minute, double sub, McTominay and Martinez for Fred and Wout Weghorst. 72nd minute, Dave with a solid punch out. One of the best punches I've ever seen from Dave. He had a great game. 74th minute, Karius with a big save on Rashford after he slices through. We did not mention the big wout banger off of his left boot that Karius saved.
That was unbelievable.
You got to give a shout for that because
know.
like Wout can't score from 8 yards, but like from 30 on his left boot, he almost like put one in top corner. That was like early in the first half. You got to give a shout out to that.
No, that's a good point. I don't know why I didn't include it. I should have. Because if you like, even before he joined Manchester United, I was looking through all his goals, mainly at in Germany, because he didn't score a lot in England. They were all in the 6-yard box, 8-yard box.
Yeah, just like ping
bashing,
pong,
smashing.
yeah.
And he was on his left foot like 30 yards out, tries to curl it in like Anthony. Hey, good for him. I didn't know he had that in his locker.
So the double sub was McTominay and Zabitzer for Fred and Weghorst. Sorry, we got that wrong.
Sorry about that.
72nd minute, like we said, punch out. Zabitzer came on. He had some piss and vinegar.
He looked great.
He looked really good as well. Another huge challenge in the middle of the park, turning it the other way. 74th minute, Karius, another big save. Zabitzer with a great chance, blasted over, a little nervy there from Zabitzer, but we were in control late in the second half. And then 82nd minute sub, Sancho for Anthony. Sancho comes on, 89th minute sub, Maguire for Rashford. You can't have the awkward moment where Maguire lifts a trophy but hasn't played, so you got to get Maguire in there. He did have a header clearance, so, shout out to Harry Magoo. And then 93rd minute, Karius, big save on Bruno. Bruno on the break, probably should get Sancho involved, and just shoots right at the keeper. It seems to be his MO these days. Bruno just needs to slow it down past the net. This reminds me of Marcus Rashford last season, trying to do too much, head down. Bruno just needs to open his eyes a little bit, just slot that one in far post.
It's like his one weakness in the moment. It happened as well. The last game, either Leicester or Leeds, he had a one-on-one with a goalie. He's getting in behind. He's doing well. I mean, everything else on that side of the pitch is going awesome. It's like his assists, he should probably have like 5 or 6 more assists if we had better finishers on this team, if you look through it. And at the same time, he's grown into the captain of this club. He is the captain. He plays like a captain. He doesn't whinge nearly as much as he used to, but he has that in his locker for the shithousery. He has like a little bit of that, a little basket of shithousery if he needs it. He showed against Barca. He didn't need to use it as much today, but he's a big-time player. And you know what? Maybe he needs to listen to our boy, whoever they have as the finishing coach. I forget his name at the moment. Working with Rashford and Sancho. Bruno. Great player.
No, amazing. And United win. Look, United win the Carabao Cup. The best part about it was after the final whistle, Casemiro goes over to Bruno, like while Bruno's celebrating, to chew him out for not passing that to Jadon Sancho. Now, then when I say dogs in this team, that's a dog. That's a dog mentality. He's like, yo, bro, like pass that ball. Like you're out of your life. And like it was like a serious kind of like.
Oh, he was not happy.
It was a serious clapback. Like, and Casemiro doesn't even. Like, we won the cup. Like, he's not even worried about that. He's just going to go chew out Bruno for not doing the right thing so we could score again, even though it wouldn't have mattered. It was the 93rd minute, and that is a dog. Casemiro, my man of the match. You want to talk about captain material, I think Casemiro's making a shout. There's going to be a big choice who's going to be captain. I know it's definitely Bruno.
Should be.
But, Casemiro seems to be the real captain,
No, Bruno's the
in
captain.
some ways,
he's the general. He's the glue that holds it all together. But at the end of the day, Bruno's been here a long time. He's been here a long time on a relative basis, right? Got to a bunch of semifinals, got to a final and lost. And today he was terrific. I think the reason he missed that shot was because he wasn't wearing the armband because he gave it to Harry Magoo. But all that matters is that's the mentality of a winner that goes on and wants to win more. So you like to see that because it's true. Should have passed it, but hey, if we needed the goal, I have a feeling he would have passed it.
Stats-wise, United 14 shots to Newcastle's 15, 9 on target for United versus their 2.
That's the difference.
38% of the ball, and Newcastle had the ball 62% of the time. They were coming at us, and we played counterattacking football and won, and man, it was glorious to break that drought. I mean, you look at how nervous we were going into that Gdansk final and the result, and then you look how confident we were in this game, and it's like Erik ten Hag has us playing on such another level. I feel like the mentality, I feel like Rashford pointing at his head, that metaphor for this team, it's just like we didn't even sweat this final. But I felt like 3 years ago we would have been so nervous playing against Newcastle. We would have like wilted. We're just so resilient. Like I said, Ten Hag has us firing on all cylinders where this was just easy, just like an appetizer. Like we want more trophies. We want the FA Cup. We want the Europa League. Hey, what about that league?
Not yet.
Match reactions. Casemiro has been victorious in each of his last 9 major finals.
9.
He's just a winner, like I said.
9
Dog.
times.
He's a dog.
As a dog.
Despite coming on at halftime, Aaron Wan-Bissaka made the most tackles of any player 7 in 45 minutes. This is the most tackles in the League Cup final since N'Golo Kante for Chelsea in 2019. That's pretty incredible. And N'Golo did that over 120 minutes, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka did in 45. Like I said,
he was man-possessed.
Absolute dog mentality. He came on and just dominated. And you love to see now. Remember when Manchester United was dominating and winning things throughout Europe? You'd have players come on, and they had a point to prove.
Yep.
People come off the bench and make a huge difference on this team. And that is what you love to see. Everyone's fighting for every inch out there, sir. It's a game of inches. And Newcastle have lost each of their 9 matches last of their 9 matches at Wembley, a run that began in 1974 after a FA Cup final, extending what is the longest ever losing run by a club at Wembley. That is incredible. The Tyne Army, they weren't happy.
No. I'll tell you what, the neutrals, or at least I don't know what the carrier is in the UK for this game. Maybe it's Sky. I have no idea. But in the United States, it's ESPN Plus, and they did not want us to win. All they talked about was Newcastle. We'll smell you later. Here we are, mighty Manchester United, the only United in England, the real United. Oh, what a win! I'm still buzzing.
Absolutely incredible. And Manchester United have won their first major trophy since 2017. The Europa League, 5 years and 278 days ago. This ends their longest wait for a major trophy since 1983, when they won the FA Cup 6 years and 5 days after their previous honor, which was the 1977 FA Cup. And Casemiro scored 4 goals in his last 12 games in all competitions, one more than he has scored across his previous 89 matches. So Casemiro, that's one thing coming into United. You didn't think he'd be scoring goals, but he's scoring goals for Manchester United.
He's scoring goals. He's playing a more full-rounded position than he got to even play at Real Madrid because they had Modric and Kroos in front of him. So he just sat back and broke up play and pulled the strings from deep. Now he's getting forward. He's scoring goals. He's covering every blade of grass. Same with Fred. I think he's getting both of his Brazilians. Eric Ten Hag is pushing up farther than the pitch. It's making a real impact.
But what do we know? Let's check in with the man, the legend, the turtleneck blazer
Didn't
wearing.
change his outfit. Didn't change his outfit, by the way, which is key. That's why we won today.
Eric
No
Ten
zoot suit.
Hag.
That we can adapt to different styles. So Newcastle have a typical style. We can adapt. We can find a way to win.
Avram Glazer was intense today. He congratulated you. You saw him in the dressing room. What did he say to you? Was it just congratulations?
No, he was really happy. For the club, as an owner. He really wanted to be part of it. You feel that when he was in the dressing room. Very good he was here. Had to show his intentions.
Sky?
Given how much your players put in Barcelona on Thursday night, what does that say about how you've got another mile tonight to win that?
Yeah, it's true. And even if you take that into account, it's a massive performance if we can deliver this. And that tells you that we are fit, physical fit, mentally fit, and they had energy. So I think it was a great performance in that perspective today from us.
You looked like you had some energy at the end. We saw you doing a dance in the pitch of that.
We have a history together at the two, Litja and Anthony in Amsterdam. We did some dancing. And I hope we can do it even more in the future. But therefore, we have to invest. Therefore, we have to sacrifice and to suffer every day to win trophies.
Suffer. Maniac. He's armed maniac.
You heard it.
He must suffer in order to win. Dude, what a man. I can't say enough about this manager. And the best part of this presser is when it's ending, he leaves the cup, and he's like, we'll get another one.
There you go.
We'll get another one.
I mean, what a start from this manager. I mean, unbelievable, really. And also, Gary Neville, Roy Keane, they had a few thoughts on it. I think it'd be worthy to play their thoughts on where Manchester United are and, what a day buzzing on this cup final day. Here we go.
I think, to be fair, the big things, leaving Marcus Rashford out, who was doing well for being late, obviously in the Wolves game, obviously the way in which the Cristiano Ronaldo situation was dealt with. Harry Maguire, his captain, had obviously been left out. They are massive decisions and courageous ones, and they could have gotten it easily wrong and gone the other way. But what he's done is assumed control in the club, and I think that at a football club, you think of Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, there's no doubt that they're the most important figure in the football club. And Erik ten Hag today, I say today, the last few months, I think has just taken control of Manchester United. The fans love the team again, and you saw the cheer that the fans gave him, by the way. Yeah. They love those players, they love Casemiro, they love Rashford, but when he went and lifted the trophy, there was no doubt who they think the most important person is.
Do you think you've all played under some of the greatest managers the game has seen? If they're authentic, they get the players on side, don't they? And he strikes me in every way. I would have said the same if Eddie Howard was as well, by the way.
Passionate,
authentic.
Mark. He's passionate. You can feel it. He just won the Carabao Cup. He's coming here, talking about his players, his staff, and this is the most important for him. And the way he talks about football, the way he talks about people, is about his heart, his passion about the game. And this is what Manchester United need.
I think it's honesty. I think if you've got a manager that you feel's honest and being honest with you and being honest with the group, you get the best out of the players that you've got in your dressing room. And I think he's an honest man, and I think you can see that rubbing off on the players.
Do you know what's unbelievable? His substitutions are unbelievable, by the way. In the last few months, he hasn't put a foot wrong. He's brave with them, taking Wan-Bissaka off, Weghorst at half-time on Thursday. Everything seems to work. He brings Anthony on, he scores. Even in the second half, when Sabitzer and McTominay come in, I thought, it's a bit of a defensive move, but actually Manchester United from that point got better in an attacking sense. He really reads the game well off the bench. He's fantastic at that.
But that's credit to the players as well. Lads coming off the bench, obviously their goals, not just over the last few weeks since the start of the season, lads coming off the bench shows you that there's a proper spirit in the camp. Some players come on, they can be upset, but lads are coming on and having an influence in their games and not disappointed. So that reflects where the group is, and they're obviously a happy bunch. We've been critical of them over the last few years. I said they were a hard team to like over the last few years. No, I like what I see with this group of players, and obviously certainly what the manager's doing. And when you're winning week in, week out, it does help.
Mark, honestly, we went to interview Erik ten Hag 4 days after the 4-0 against Brentford, and if you remember, he'd taken them for a run on the Sunday and gone out and taken them running, which was a bit old school. And at the time, I was thinking, I'm not sure this group of players are going to enjoy this. And at that point, he did assume control. They beat Liverpool on the Monday after, and that was a massive turning point. And I can't believe where we are now today from where we were going back to that sort of 6 months ago when United lost 4-0 to Brentford. It was unthinkable that we'd be sat here with a trophy in the bank and thinking like this about this team, let alone the manager.
Trophy in the bank. Love the sound of that. I mean, just talking about how Erik ten Hag has transformed this club, this team so fast. And Roy Keane, the jersey I wore today, Keane on the back, him praising, I like what I saw. I like this team. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know. He said, watching Manchester United is bad for your health. Called the players bluffers. He's only said negative things. Today is like the first positive thing I heard out of Roy Keane. Love it.
Probably the first positive thing he said since like 2013. I mean, we did win some silverware, but even then, there wasn't this same level of belief and confidence in that this is only the beginning of what this club is able to achieve. This manager's in for the long haul. These players, they're motivated. The ones who are fighting for new contracts, they look like they're ready to kill. And the players he brought in all fit the mentality and all want to keep going, right? That's the best thing is about winning a piece of silverware where there's still so much left to play for, is that winning is infectious. When you start winning one thing, you think you win everything, especially when you beat a Barcelona or win a league title, a league cup in a game where you didn't play that great, but you still came off and for large parts of the game, bossed it. It's a huge win for Manchester United. It's a huge win for the pod. First piece of silverware since inception, 450 plus podcasts, sir. We finally
437. This is 438.
If you include Patreon, Patreon pods, then it's well over, sir. We're talking
so
months
stat
of
padding the pod.
Of course, as he should, as anyone would, insider. But it's a great result, and on to the next one. West Ham, FA Cup, proper. And time to rotate. That's all I got to say. Time to rotate.
So the big thing I got to say is that, Garnacho did the hair before the finals. Now the final photos got that the Slim Shady hair. Garnacho.
Why not, bro? Why not?
Tough seeing young players make bad hair decisions, sir. But you know what? We can't celebrate this victory too long because you know what? It's the Winter World Cup season. It's the season from hell. It is the 2 fixtures a week, 2 pods a week, sir. I love doing the pods, so I actually can't complain about that. But we got a next match. That is Manchester United versus West Ham, Old Trafford. At least we're going to be playing at home. FA Cup 5th round proper. That's right. They're all proper rounds. Wednesday, March 1st, 11:45 a.m. Pacific, 12:45 p.m. Eastern. We're having some dark ales on the podcast, but we don't have to play West Ham on Wednesday. What do you think the Eric Ten Hag protocol to celebrate is? Is it like 2 beers or something? And like,
well,
are they going out tonight? Or are they not? I mean, like,
he's probably getting back to work tonight, bro. Knowing this maniac,
he is.
But like the boys are going to get Lit City.
Is?
The boys should get Lit City. Have a good
really?
time.
I don't think so. I think they're setting the tone.
No, they should. Dude, they already look like they're polishing champagne in the dressing room. You saw Lindelof with beer, Varane. You should let them celebrate, enjoy themselves. Like, obviously, they don't go to a pisser, like a 3-day fucking binge, like Wayne Rooney and the boys used to back in the day. I'm talking about like give them a night, have a good time, whether they stay in London for the night or they go up to Manchester. But all I know is Eric Ten Hag is like, he's probably a character right now, bro. It's 3 p.m. Pacific. What is that? That's 11 p.m. GMT. He is probably at character right now, like working on the West Ham game.
As he should, because this is another trophy up for grabs. Lifetime versus West Ham United. We've won 72, drawn 32, lost 46. First time we ever played them, February 1911. We lost to them 2-1 in the FA Cup, in a proper round of the FA Cup. Last 5, we've won 4, drawn 1, and that was in the League Cup under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. West Ham coming in to this game. They beat Derby County in the 4th round proper, drew Newcastle United, drew Chelsea. They got beat by Tottenham Hotspur, and they just dispatched Nottingham Forest 4-0. Dangerous West Ham side. If Newcastle Carabao Cup didn't catch up to us, this game is probably going to catch up to us. We are probably rotating. Rashford won't play. He has a knock.
Varane cannot play.
The Thursday, Sunday turnaround was intense. Varane's not going to play. Leach is probably not going to play. A lot of rotation here, but it's another cup competition. How is Ten Hag going to react? I think that's probably the most important question of the day.
You know, this is a great opportunity to rest your players, right? Obviously, West Ham, they're chipping up a little bit recently. They're out of the relegation zone at the moment. They're in 16th place, and they're finding a little bit of form. But this is a great opportunity where you can put in our second-ranked center back pairing in Maguire and Lindelof, and they should be able to do a job. You can give Casemiro a blow because he needs one. Marcus Rashford should be nowhere near that starting 11. Give Big Wout a chance to bury a goal. He needs one. We have some depth. Now it's about using the depth because, yeah, I want to win this game, but I wanted to win today's game more, and I want to make sure that the boys are have enough legs to continue to compete in the Premier League. Obviously, FA Cup, more prestigious than the EFL Cup. It's a great piece of silverware that I'd love to be winning, but we got to manage this squad because, like you said, there is a game every 3 days for the next month, and that's not slowing down if we continue in the FA Cup, if we continue in the Europa League past Batiste. But a lot to play for. And now that we got one, sir, the hardest one is the first one. This is like the most important piece of silverware because until you win nothing, it's all going to be hype. And it ain't a hype no more. Eric Ten Hag is a winner chicken dinner, sir. I'm buzzing. Maybe it's these dark ales. Dark ales. Let's go.
This West Ham match will be an interesting test for these lads. Again, a poor West Ham side. We should be beating them even with the rotation.
David Moyes.
A little history on West Ham, founded in 1895 as Thames Ironworks. That's why they have the Hammers. They were reformed in 1900 as West Ham United. They moved to the Bowling Ground in 1904, which remained their home ground until they moved to the London Stadium. Obviously, from the Olympics, I want to say 2012, they built the stadium. West Ham got the rights. They have a long-standing rivalry with Millwall, who also play in London. Obviously, tons of clubs in London, tons of rivalries there. So you've been to Millwall. Great people, friendly people, right?
Just like West Ham. I mean, West Ham have a rep. They have a rep around football hooliganism. They're probably
Green Street Hooligans. If you haven't seen the movie and you like football, you should watch it. It is about West Ham.
They're kind of excuse my French, dirtbags club. You know, they have like some not so nice fans, kind of like Leeds. hey, that's probably why they have a real rivalry with Millwall, because I'll tell you what, Millwall, they're not the friendliest bunch. I'll tell you what I saw. It was
Neither are
12:05. No, neither are Leeds, neither are the Hammers, and neither are Millwall, because I went to a game there at midday and never heard so many profanities.
Millwall has
grandmothers saying the C word. It was madness.
It was unbelievable. Yeah, they like their C words in
like
Millwall. West Ham playing the 4-3-3. You got Danny Ings, obviously Declan Rice in the midfield. We've been linked to for a long time. Ben Rama on the left wing. Fabianski always shows up against Manchester United as well. So, look, it's going to be a desperate West Ham side.
Trap game? It feels like a trap game.
It feels like a rotation, maybe get caught game. Yeah. But look, let's check into the physio room. Injuries are going down for United at the right time of the year. Obviously, Martial is still out. Eriksen's out. Donny's out. Rashford with a knock. Given those are the injuries, what is your starting 11 for West Ham?
I'm mixing it up, sir. I'm going to do Heaton and net. Back four of Dalot, Maguire, Lindelof, Malacia. I'm going to do McTominay, Sabitzer, Bruno, Sancho, Wout, Garnacho. Sir, what do you got?
I'm going to say Dave saves world number 1 in net. I agree with you on Dalot, Maguire, Lindelof, Malacia. I'm going to say McTominay, Fred, midfield. You're going to get Bruno. You're going to get Garnacho. You're going to get Wout, and you're going to get Sancho. I think that is how he's going to line up. Tell me what the bookies have for the odds on betting here.
United, the favorites, minus 165, plus 290 for the draw, and almost 4 times your money if you like the Hammers away, plus 390. Given the odds, sir, what is your score prediction?
They're coming to our house. It's a bad West Ham side. I say we dispatch them 2-0, same score as today.
Yeah, 1-0, United, move on. They fight us. They fight us hard, sir. Moyes is flopping and flopping. You don't like that, but United do the business and move on to guess who we got next week. And we got the Scouse bastard, sir. Let's get into some news.
United in the news. Sir, we got some news here. Manchester United won the Carabao Cup. Number 1 news story. All right, you want to get into this one? Rafael Varane revealed some history about his contract with Real Madrid and how he wanted to join Manchester United. Give us the news here. This is an interesting story from Rafael Varane.
Well, this is the story that we had heard about back in the day. Manchester United needed center backs. They needed to replace Vidic and inevitably get ahead of Ferdinand. Varane was a player we were attracted to. I think it was 2011. And ultimately, he ended up going to Real Madrid. We know how that went. But according to Varane, he said the deal was done. The deal was done. It was agreed upon with his agent. He was on track to join United that summer. And guess who they ended up signing? They ended up signing Philly Jones because, Fergie don't always get him right. And with that one, he didn't get it right. But that being said, I think if you were to have Varane, he wouldn't have stayed around that long with Fergie anyway because he would have retired.
Good point.
And then he would have been chop. He would want to leave anyway because who the hell is going to want to play under David Moyes or a new manager every 2 years? So either way, I think it worked out because he brought in a much-needed level of experience, pedigree, and coolness of head. And also, he's a leader. He's a leader. He's like, I'm going to be the one that brings back. We celebrate every tackle. We celebrate every block of a ball, every corner, every inch of every inch of the game, every second, sir. And that's what it's about. It's like he was bringing back the mentality that winners fight for every ball. And he talked about when you get to the very top, when you get to the promised land, it's like it ain't as fun as the fight on the way up. And he's like, I'm happy to be at Manchester United and be fighting my way back up because when you're winning everything, you get complacent. So he's like, he loves it. I think they love the challenge, him and Casemiro, and you love to see it.
No, and credit to Varane. He was all over the place. I mean, I just seen a tenacity on the back line. Like Licha getting like his
head in. Remember that?
Cut open his head. Varane just like flying in for an amazing tackle, like jumping in the air, like putting his body on the line. And we did not see that with Magoo and Lindelof. As much as I don't dislike those guys, but you didn't have the same tenacity where if you're going to come near us, like you better think about it. It's like get off the tracks, train's coming through. Licha's going to get you. And that Vidic had that mentality. Rio Ferdinand said he put his head where people didn't want to put their feet. And we got a little bit of steel on our back line. I think that's saying, come get us. This one, summer tour, Manchester United announced U.S. tour. I don't have the exact stadium set. Chelsea will also be in the U.S. as well as Wrexham, the club owned by Ryan Reynolds. Apparently, people are making a big deal out of this. I don't really care about Wrexham at all. I don't know. There's a show.
They're the national.
Have you watched it?
No, I haven't watched it.
I don't know why people are like.
It's because they like Ryan Reynolds and they like Rob,
why?
the guy from Always Sunny. I don't know.
Does he have enough money, Ryan Reynolds?
Well, that's why they bought
we have to root for his team too.
Fifth league. Yeah, exactly. Handsome bastard, married to a smoke show, and you still have to root for his football team as well. I mean, it's a feel-good story. I wouldn't want to be hanging out in Wales too often, but you know what? That's their decision. And maybe they can come and get beat up by Manchester United like Youth Academy. We'll put in Kobe. We'll put in Garnacho. We'll put in Facundo. And we'll rip them apart somewhere in Southern California. I think they're talking about San Diego for this game. But I'm just excited that the lads are coming back stateside. It was great for them to go Southeast Asia, first kind of real tour since the pandemic.
But the time zone, like it's tough. It's tough on the American Red Devil in the summer. The time zone, plus you also have the time zone for the players and the long travel. So they went to Australia. That's like a
really
little too. It seems like that's too aggressive. Obviously, you have the 8 hours from the Pacific. I mean, they always come to Cali. Do warm weather training, but 8 hours is not like the 6. Once you get up to the 14, 16, you're on the other side of the planet. It's rough. So it hasn't been an issue. I felt like this preseason was a little too much going that far. So I think the U.S. is pragmatic. But for me as a United fan, I've been to see them on tour in the U.S. It's nothing like going to see them. like the problem with the U.S. I think I saw them at Rose Bowl. This is LVG, like Wayne Rooney, Herrera days, and I show up early. You're in your seat. And when you go watch a game at Old Trafford, like everyone sits for 45 minutes and does not get up.
They know the deal.
And the U.S., like everyone shows up late. They're getting to the seats like it's a baseball game. Everyone's standing and moving, and it's like really disruptive when you're trying to watch a game. And I feel like when you go to England, it's just like everyone sits down for 45 minutes, like doesn't move. And you need that. You need that.
It's 100% true because it's not even the fact that like Bruno, Rashford, Casemiro, and Varane are not going to be starting this game because it'll be an early preseason.
Totally, yeah.
And it's actually the fact that you just said. It's like you sit down, you get there early, you do all you're supposed to do, and you're just going to have one guy after another just walking in front of you for literally the first 35, 40 minutes of the half. Then it's halftime, everyone does it again. Then the second half, everybody does it some more.
It's so disruptive.
So it's actually like impossible to watch it.
Yeah, but
Plus
obviously it's not
expensive as hell.
financially viable for everyone to go to the UK to be able to make that trip to go to Old Trafford. But it's a proper way to see it. And also when they're fighting for something, I feel like the tour games is like subbing 6 players at a time too, which is
it's preseason. It's preseason.
No, I know, but they just bill it as a United fan. Travel we highly recommend going to see them on the other side of the pond, just because I think that's the proper way. Like if they're in Levi Stadium, like I'm not driving an hour and a half down there.
I'm good.
Like that's how I rate.
My wife would be like, "Why don't we bring the kids?" I'd be like, "That's a great idea." I'm not.
I've tried to. Have you ever gone to Levi? It's a nightmare. Like there's another reason. It's like in Manchester, you just take a train and you walk right there. It's like very easy. Shout out to Europe, nice public transport. It's very easy to get there. Parking at Levi Stadium, like no way I'm gonna make it down there. This bit of news, this little spicy one here. Wayne Rooney coming out like big up comments on the Glazers. Sir, Wayne Rooney, club legend here. Glazers are under the heat. Sale rumors and everything. Let's see what he had to say. What does I have to say here?
It's a quick thought. I mean, obviously, I have to ask you this. Just your thoughts on the bids coming in for United. We don't have to get into it specifically, but do you think it's the right thing to do at this point for United? Get some new blood in there, or do you think that the Glazers should still remain?
First, I think the Glazers have done a fantastic job. I think they've been at the club for, they signed me in 2004, so they've been at the club for 20 years now, and I think they've always, allowed the managers to bring the players in they want, and I think it's clear the fans want change, and obviously it looks like the Glazers are open for that change to come with putting the club up for sale and receiving the bids they've received. So hopefully they get the right people in, and it's people who are going to try and move the club forward.
All right, what do you make? Amazing job. The Glazers have done an amazing job.
I mean,
Manchester United, Wayne Rooney, what do you make?
Sorry, he kind of talked out of both sides of his mouth because he kind of was like, they've done a great job, but they'd also love the club would love new owners and like a fresh start. This is a surprising one because at the end of the day, 13 years ago, he was bald then and he was a player. Wayne Rooney was calling out the Glazer ownership for their lack of investment in the club, and that was very much true. He was spot on. They weren't spending money. He's like, we sold Ronaldo, we sold Tevez, and City are spending money like wild, and we're doing nothing. And he was right then. I don't know what happens, or maybe too many dark ales or too many late night romps with chickies in DC. But like, you hate to hear it. But at the end of the day, sometimes when you're getting interviewed, sir, you got to be diplomatic. But I think he's fawning over Manchester United and their owners a little too much because
he's a Glazer fan.
He said so differently. He said so differently.
He's a Glazer fan.
Maybe he's on the payroll.
Like,
maybe he's on the payroll like Fergie.
Look,
he's getting paid millions just to wash him.
Look, I'll tell you what. This is.
It hurt my heart a little bit. It hurt me.
You're entering the Muppet Dome, not the Thunderdome. You're entering the Muppet Dome over here because this conversation would be between me and Alex. I rode the Ronaldo horse.
It made him so happy. By the way, to bring us up today, I went over to his house to watch the game. He's like, "Oh, you see what Rooney said? Look, we only have 2 signed kits on the wall. We got a Wayne Rooney kit and we got a Ronaldo kit.
So
he's a Ronaldo guy. I'm a Rooney guy. John was so happy. John was like a new boy. It was like he had like a new baby with him. He was like so happy. He's like, "Oh, you see Wayne Rooney? You see Wayne Rooney just big up with the Glazers? What do you think about that? Oh, you just enjoyed that, sir. You enjoyed that more than the EFL Cup."
No, just because I knew you were gonna be like so fired up about it. Alex was very, very
excuse
fired
factory,
up.
The excuse
you were
factory.
very fired up this morning when I brought it up to you. But I think when we started watching this club, like early 2000s. Obviously Ronaldo joins, then he starts playing amazing for United. I was like big Ronaldo got the kit, you got the Rooney kit. So I felt like you've always been riding one or the other. Ronaldo's definitely taken too many L's for me to defend him on this pod. He's just not. He's like literally trolled himself out of United legend, status.
You don't care about the hat tricks he scored in Saudi Arabia?
It's sad. It's so sad to see that he went that direction. Should have gone probably like LA Galaxy or something. But at the end of the day, Wayne Rooney, I think he's kind of become the GOAT of our Manchester United generation, and now he's like commenting the Glazers. So I'm a big Rooney fan.
That's a bummer.
Hysterical off the pitch, first of all, just like the stories, trouble he gets into, it's just a riot. Like can't leave this guy alone. Pretty much like he needs like a handler because he's just like a dog.
He's a dog. Speaking of dogs, bro, he is a dog.
No, I know. But, look, I think he's just. It's hard for ex-players. You're close to the club. The Glazers might still own them. He wants to probably go back to Manchester to watch games.
He's a manager.
I think
he's not just a pundit.
Well.
Right.
He has kids who might want to play. So it's going to be a political answer. I think this is pretty. I think he saved it where he said fans want change. So it'd be exciting to see.
He said a bit of both. He said a bit of both.
A bit of both.
It hurts
the first part of the
Alex
clip.
Part of me died.
All right, moving on. Great interview here. Rio Ferdinand asked him about Ten Hag. Asked him about. What was it like to play for him? I thought there was a few nuggets here from Bruno that made for talking on the podcast. Here's the interview.
I've heard players, including yourself, talk a little bit like this in seasons gone by, but I feel something different, and you're closer now, it feels. How kind of important has the manager been in that? What's he done to change the way things are at the club at the minute?
No, as I said, I think if he first arrived, I knew we went on tour and the training sessions that we had here after that and everything, it demands. It demands from people, or you do it or you out. You don't play, And so everyone was a little bit like in the beginning, you will do that or not? If a big player doesn't do what he wants, you will put him apart or not? And he did it. He did it many times. He did it with Cristiano. He did it with Jadon. He did it. Marcos also. In the big moments, like. Marcos was in probably the best form against Wolves. He did something wrong. Managers just put him out, and everyone was like, "Wow."
Yeah, what impact does that have to you? It's like
that in the first moment for us was like, "Wow, he's being our main man. We need him." But in the second one, I was sitting with David, and I said to him, "This has to be like this, because if not, the younger ones, they will think like, if he does nothing to him." Next one, he will do nothing to me too. So it demands there from Rashi, like you have to be consistent in everything, not only on your game, on your goals and your performance, but off the pitch also. And obviously Marcos, in the beginning, obviously he was hungry because he wants to play, but he did nothing wrong. Like he accepted, he went to the game, come on, scores
you win.
And wins. You see the end of the story, him and the coach together, smiling, laughing, hugging. Is the way it has to be. Like sometimes I'm a parent, you are a father too. Sometimes you have to make some rules at your house. if not, they will go over you, and in a short period of time, they will be the owners of the house. So.
I remember hearing that. I'll tell you what, that's true. Trying to lay down the law on my 3-year-old.
He runs the house for
dude,
sure.
We've heard it a lot, and it's coming out, especially in the lead up to the Cup final. Varane was getting interviewed, Casemiro, and now Bruno. Dude, we know this. The manager takes no shit. High standards. If you cross him, you're out. But also shout out to, I feel like he's growing into that captain. He just sounds so much more composed. He sounds like a Manchester United captain. He still has flaws in his game, but he contributes so much to the side, so much mentality, and he's a dog. Love to see it. I'm glad he is developing into a more temperate player, right? A little bit less like with his highs and lows, but more consistent week in, week out. And that's just also the manager, right? Like he didn't even have to be like, you're no longer the captain, Mr. Harry Maguire. Like you just push him aside, give it to the Portuguese, and he handled that like perfectly because he doesn't have to be the bad guy. He'll be gone. He's gonna sell him this summer, of course, and then that's your job. Okay, Harry Maguire's gone. The new captain is Bruno Fernandes.
The double trophy race, we did not talk about the trophy. I thought that was class. I thought the fact that Harry Maguire got in the game.
That was nice. That was a good move.
I thought that the fact that he didn't lift the trophy without Bruno. So I thought there was a lot of respect from Harry to Bruno. He knows his role. I mean, you have to give a compliment to Harry Maguire. I'll say his name properly here on the podcast. The compliment to him is that it was classy.
It was good.
He's in a tough situation. And Ronaldo was in a tough situation, and he threw his toys out the prem, right? Harry Maguire is like kind of a class act, kind of just like, yep, doing his job. Totally, Bruno, you should lift the trophy. So, like, you got to give a little big ups. It was a class move to share it with Bruno because I do think captaincy is going to him. On the interview, interesting, he called out Sancho. He called out Ronaldo, Sancho, and Marcus. Obviously, we saw Marcus getting benched. We've seen Jadon have to leave and train away from the team. And obviously, Ronaldo, toys out the prem. Pierre's Morgan interview did a little differently, just like completely blowing up the spot.
Burned the house down.
And then went to Saudi Arabia. So, look, interesting stuff, but everyone knows it. You watch it, you see it. Erik ten Hag, he's the man. And Sir Alex Ferguson said it. It's like the manager has to be the number one. Has to be number one. And if he's not number one, like Bruno said, the kids are going to be running the house. And the kids were running the house for a long time. And Erik ten Hag got here and said, stop that. People called his bluff. And he went all in, and now you're seeing the result. All in is trophies and probably more on the way for Manchester United.
Much more, sir. He's a proper old school manager. He's like, we're way too early, but he's the mold of Sir Alex Ferguson. Uncompromising. He has high standards. He expects a lot from the players, and if they fail to live up to what he expects, he's going to knock them down. I like that you said something nice about Harry Maguire. I think that's a really good point. Dude, he wins a piece of silverware. He hadn't won anything up before this, and he's won more silverware with Manchester United during a terrible period than Harry Kane has his whole fucking career. So it keeps things relative. I'm going to cut you, Kane, before you join us in the summer. Harry Maguire, he'll move on. He'll have a decent career in the EPL. He can go play for West Ham and be fine. He was never going to live up to the captaincy role, but like I think that was a really nice moment. Them lifting the trophy together. There was no bad blood. There was no animosity. It was just about celebrating as a team. A special day, sir. A special day for everybody.
Jumping into fan questions here at you, Bosun. Thank God for Erik ten Hag. That felt good. Make room on the scarf. Glory, glory. That's right. We have our we've won it all scarf with all the trophies Manchester United has ever won. We have to add one more EFL Cup.
We're not done yet, baby.
Count it 6. Maybe another Europa League. We shall see. At MJ Fit 16, first trophy Erik ten Hag competes for. He wins. Got to feel really good about that. Let's win all the cups. Glory, glory. At Bry Guy 666, sirs, have a fucking dark ale. The drought is over. Let's go. Absolutely love that one, sir. If you can't, a lot of sirs are flowing right now because we have a few dark ales in us. So this is going to be a pretty loose pod here. At Jamal Mota, sirs, we are energy drink cup champions. It's been way too long, and the American Red Devils trophy drought is over. Erik ten Hag is the second coming of Sir Alex. The team was focused, and the second half was breezy. Love these players. By the way, Harry blanking Avram on the podium was epic.
He's a fan. I didn't love seeing Avram Glazer there, especially when he went into the dressing room after to celebrate. But I guess that's his right as
he
the
owns
owner.
The team.
I know, but
Yeah.
he shows up when he wants. Hasn't been there in 4 years. Never went to a Munich celebration. I can go on and on, baby.
No, that to me is the most.
No Munich.
Like
Come on.
Munich has to be taken seriously. Like, your owner has to be there. I mean,
It's a defining part of this
it's
club's history. So we don't need to talk about the Glazers. Let's talk about the good stuff. It was a fun day. Great day for the pod. Great day for the fans. Great day for the players.
It's unbelievable.
It hasn't hit me yet.
At Rolling in the Deep, thirsty for trophies. We want more. Let's go United. I mean, right now we probably think we're going to win everything given the absolute buzzing feeling we have. At Red Devil Woody, this is just the start. Great win and great team performance. Let's focus on the other games now. We're back and we're going to win the lot. Something I feel like we got another trophy in this team. I feel like this was just too easy.
Yeah,
like when I say he got us to a level where it's just like, this was just easy. We could do more. We could win more. I think that's what the players are thinking, right? At Ty Kircher, Sirs, the first trophy in America Red Devils history. What a manager. What a squad. What a day. Glory, glory, Man United. Erik ten Hag with his first trophy. I love this club. Crack a few dark ales to celebrate this one. To all America Red Devils. Glory, glory, Man United. And another great photo of Licha lifting the trophy. Who had the best trophy lift? I think that would probably be like a big... Who did the best lift?
I mean, you think it looks small? Wait, they put it in Wout's hand. It looked like it was a teacup.
Wout went full like flags, scarves. Wout, like I actually
Dude,
like that.
Bro.
Wout was
He
just
played
like
okay.
He's like, why am I even here, man? I was playing in Turkey, and then now he's at United wearing flags
him,
and
bro.
scarves.
He could be the fourth
He's
striker.
loving it up.
He could be the
Good
fourth
for
striker.
Look, Wout. You win a trophy.
He had the assist. He had the assist to the Rashford goal.
The Wout Grinch heart is,
it's
growing.
bigger.
It's
Three
growing,
times bigger
three
that
times
day.
bigger.
Well, I'll tell you what. I was just watching.
I'm the Wout Grinch for sure.
I was watching Wayne Rooney slather all over the Lasers. Great owners. Best owners I've ever seen. Kill me. Can't I have anything nice in one day, Wayne Rooney?
Well, that came out of right field. That
came out of nowhere.
Right field. At N Maybaugh 13, quote, Sirs, absolutely buzzing. No negative news, no negative thoughts allowed today. Just good vibes. Love watching all the interactions between players after the final whistle. The first of hopefully many under Erik ten Hag. Glory, glory, Man United. And last one here, at Moneyline Jesus. Sirs, I'm speechless. 6 years. The quad is on. In all seriousness, business was taken care of. The players need a short memory, and we're on to the FA Cup and the path to trophy number 2 in the bald, beautiful man we trust. I think that says it all. The bald, beautiful man, Erik ten Hag, he wins the trophy lift for me. Seeing him lift the trophy, hearing the fans' reaction to him. He's the man. He just came in, was awkward, goofy Dutch guy in the gray suit, like answering questions when he came about Ronaldo and all this. Went on tour.
Spurs
got slapped in the mouth by
Spurs didn't hire him
Bournemouth.
because he was too low charisma.
Then he's like running the team, like
Tactician.
getting rid of
I've never
Ronaldo,
seen a tactician
fighting
like
with
this in my whole life.
Ronaldo, fighting with Rashford, dropping Sancho, just
Garnacho got dropped,
setting the tone, and then and guess what? It all worked out. I mean, it's unbelievable to be where we are, and I really think this team has more in the tank. Look, if you like the America Red Devils, that's it. That's the podcast. You want to support independent fan content, The Muppet Take. Check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/America Red Devils, AmericaRedDevils.com, merch at AmericaRedDevils.store. Like, subscribe. You know the drill. Goes a long way to help us. We're in the garage having an absolute blast with some dark ale, celebrating our first trophy on the pod. First trophy in pod history.
Can you believe it?
It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable, sir. It was a great pod and a great day, and we appreciate all the American Devils fans. We couldn't do it without you. Week in, week out. It's been a hell of a run. We finally break the drought, sir. We break it, and like a lot of our friends said, a lot of the people said, is that this is the first of many. We're not winning the title, but like an FA Cup, a Europa League, those are on the menu. Those are available because this team, as you said, it's like we made it look easy. I don't think we got out of like second gear. It was not a vintage performance. We could have more goals. A couple times they ask questions, but that's what happens when you have world-class defenders and a world-class goalie. Is it like you make it a non-issue?
That's being a winner. That's being a winner, right? And like we see that United.
Some of those Varane clearances where he like jumped 3 feet in the air and then just smashed it out. Like he looks like a winner, like a player that you want in your back four.
Yeah, like don't come around here. Like we're gonna, if you don't want a mark on you, don't come near our back line because we're gonna put one on you. And that's the way it was with Ferdinand and Vidic, and that's the way it needs to be now. And that is the one. It's amazing that we were able to fix the midfield, fix the back line. I mean, you could argue about right back. Right. You could argue
he's made a lot out of it though. That right back position.
Casemiro and Licha, like those two, like transformed this team, and to see us lift a trophy, absolutely buzzing, sir. Give us our top 10 downloads the last 7 days.
Number 1, how you doing? How you doing? New York, New York. London, England. Los Angeles, California. Chicago, Illinois. Melbourne, Australia. Brooklyn, New York. Oslo, Norway. Denver, Colorado. Toronto, Canada. And last but not least, Tampa, Florida. Appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. We couldn't do without you. It's always darkest before the dawn. Last season was a nightmare. This year is a rebirth. This club is back. We've got a manager. We've got great players. We're only going to get better. Club also might get sold. Who knows how that's going to go, but it doesn't matter. But we have a manager who is grabbing the reins, sir, and pulling all the strings.
Worthy of the title. Enjoy this one. Celebrate today. To all the America Red Devils, we've seen it all. We've won the lot.